That's where we're going to start. We're going to start at Goodison Park. Everton plus 120, hosting Southampton plus 240. The draw here plus 225. These odds and all the odds you're going to hear on the show brought to you by our friends at Bet365. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Everton played all right against Manchester United in the FA Cup. They played all right in 2 out of the last 3 matches. And what's the common denominator in those 2 matches? They play with a back 5. I don't care if it's Southampton, Frank. Just do it again. Just keep lashing in.
Well, his job's safe now, Michael.
Yeah, his job's safe. The Bard
Moshiri just told all the fans to F off and shut up.
Moshiri clapped back with the letter. I mean, Everton at plus 120 is short, man. That's way too short.
Yeah.
I think if from a betting standpoint, I mean, it's Southampton or nothing. They're coming off a 2-0 win over City in the Carabao Cup. Maybe we'll see some market love for the Saints. I mean, the market always moves away from Everton before every match, it seems. So wouldn't be surprised. Weird. It's weird that happens. What do you think here, BJ? Southampton.
I think this is one of the easiest passes on the board. If I had to play anybody, I would play Southampton, who has played, their first couple of Premier League matches under Nathan Jones haven't really been that good. The showing against Nottingham Forest I was actually very disappointed in. It was one of those matches where they're at home. It's a good spot for them, and they really just couldn't get it done against a pretty bad Nottingham Forest defense. But then they went and beat Crystal Palace on the road in the FA Cup, and like you already mentioned, beats a lot of City's backups in the Carabao Cup. But still, I mean, it's still a fantastic effort. And I think that what it just comes down to for Southampton is, who's going to control possession in this match, Michael? Because as I've outlined many times,
Southampton just
Nathan Jones teams do not hold possession. At one point in the match against Fulham, I know it's a couple matches ago, Fulham was holding around 70 to 75% possession. They're a very, very direct team. So, so if I'm betting on Everton at plus 120, having to break down a low block and then defend in transition, that is very, very, very scary. So I am passing on this one. I think that, but if you had to play anything, I'd play. It's probably Southampton, nothing, who is they're still a top 10 team by, expected goals allowed. So if they're going to play more compact under Nathan Jones, then it's going to be very difficult for Everton to actually create a number of high quality chances here.
Anthony, you've been Everton overs, Everton both teams to score yeses. Is that just going to be something you do to the rest of the season for the rest of the season? And another one here against Saints.
I will until the market adjusts. I mean, minus 107 you can find out there on both teams to score. I will happily play that. This is a desperation spot. I don't think a draw is good enough for either team in this situation. I think both kind of have to go for it. And typically, relegation 6-pointers can be a bit cagey, but like I said, minus 107 on an attack in Southampton that has underperformed both expectations. On set pieces, they haven't been as good. You'd expect Southampton to be one of the better set piece taking teams. They've been really bad. I think there's likely to be some improvement there going forward. Everton's defense continues to be in terrible form. Southampton also crosses the ball a lot. It's how they get most of their balls in the box. A lot of that was Ralph, but I still think that carries over. It's just generally speaking with the way that they have kind of not necessarily target forwards, but forwards who aren't really running behind types like a Che Adams. They're like get on the end of a cross type. And Everton doesn't stop crosses. I mean, they're 20th in stopping cross in the penalty area. And I think going to a back 3 doesn't really help you stop the crosses necessarily either in this situation if the fullbacks are going to get forward up the pitch, which I do expect for this match. So I like both teams to score. Southampton's a classic. Like the field tilt on them is actually higher than Spurs, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like they do a decent job of keeping teams out of their penalty area. They've been really bad in goal this year. It's definitely hurt them. But Everton have not taken any of their chances. They have been better in attack going at home, though, considerably. They are over 1 XG per 90 at home. So give me both teams to score here. I would lean towards Southampton too. Originally had that, but missed the good number. The Toffees were minus or plus 105. I would have probably laid like a minus 120, 125 on the Saints plus a half, but minus 140 now. No interest there. I'm just going to take the both teams to score and wait for the market to adjust. I mean, that Brighton total sat at 2.5 over last week at like plus 104, and it was five goals. And it was pretty deserved of like 3 or 4. So
Right. To Anthony, that's a really good point that you made about the field tilts. And it was very, very evident today in the Carabao Cup too, because City held over 70% possession against Southampton, but the field tilt was only around 54%. And that's something, that I've already said about Nathan Jones, is that they like to press high. Like they will force you to essentially hold a lot of possession in your own final third. So that's something definitely to look out for, especially in this type of match where Everton might hold more than like 55% possession, but Southampton might tilt the field on them too.